Hello. That had been a very long day for every one of us. I long for a beer as much as you do. And I bet you have seen tons of slides today. So in the last minutes, I just thought I keep the slides away today. I can give you a full-fledged live demo, which might be more of what you want to see. So the basic that we see today is one single slide, then a live demo, and maybe if we have time, but that is disputable, some more slides about what is that all about. Myself is Dan. I work for Leverton as a product director. And yeah, what is Leverton? We heard a lot of data today. So I've been in the main ballroom and heard about how we should have data together, how we should share data, and so on and so forth, how the data is important nowadays, how we do BI on the data. We've seen a lot of that, but most of the people do not get the idea of, hey, where does this data come from by the end of the day? So for what data are we talking about? Sure, we can have these innovative things we have seen now, which have small live data like the Internet of Things thing, but most of the time we're talking about contractuals. We're talking about people that negotiate contracts to parties represented by lawyers, creating like tons of paper that are then buried deep somewhere in the document management system and never be touched again. And then somebody takes that paper and tries to read it. It might be a foreign language, and then tries to enter this data in some kind of contract management system. We heard today some people believe Excel is a contract management system. I can assure you it's not. And that is where Leverton came in. We just said, we're 2017, it cannot be that we really need to have manual data entries based on contractual data. There must be something that can be done for that. Basically, the issue is that only in the last some years, only in the last some years, it was possible to do that, and that is because of a very easy fact. We needed artificial intelligence to come to a point where it can cope with this level of data. I am limited in my time, so I won't go into why artificial intelligence is used and so on and so forth, but just to give you a hint, where things like an invoice can be processed by, like, say, old-fashioned rule-based approaches, you cannot go to have that thing on a contract. Why not? E-invoice is part of a process. It's just a written process step, where a contract is the result of a negotiation. And we all know that negotiations turn to be unique things. Two people negotiate, and the result is unique. So having a rule describing something unique sounds a bit fuzzy to me. So what we did at Leverton is we created artificial intelligence that allows us to go and to extract information out of contracts. Artificial intelligence is at the stake that it can do that. It's the same like in the sat-nav. If you drive the street, it will tell you what speed to have, but it does not anymore do that based on the navigation information in the map, but it will real-time observe the bypassing signs and just interpret that. That also artificial intelligence. We take the same artificial intelligence, we apply that just on documents and try to get information out of text rather than information out of signs. That is the main differentiator. But then, why do we do that? A year ago, 2 years ago, we were still in the level of uprising our artificial intelligence training set. Artificial intelligence works on a big scale training set, and the first 5 years of Leverton, we were more a BPO trying to get enough information. But now we are at a level that we are confident that the recognition rates are big enough, good enough, to really go into a SaaS model, and that we have proven last year. So we have very good and big companies using our system day in, day out. Still, artificial intelligence is not and will never be perfect. So unless, or unlike a rule-based system, you will never come to a situation where you can just say, okay, this is extracted and I fully trust in that. There's always some review to be done. And that is exactly what we are going through now in the live demo. I will show you just how we extract information out of a contract and how a review would look like. Just to make sure that you understand what is the beauty. And then I'll talk a bit about the primary and secondary gains that you have in business cases using such a technology. So what we're seeing here is basically our web application. It's a cloud-based application. It's a so-called single-page application. You can choose different apps to go to, and the app that we are interested in today is the import app, which is like the possibility to put things into our platform. It's just one of some. We have APIs to automate this step, but the least you can do is you take a PDF and upload that here. I have pre-done that for a single reason. As soon as you upload something, the full text OCR will be taken by the machine, and that takes some minutes, and I didn't want to risk that. So today I have here a little lease file uploaded. It contains of two documents. The first document obviously is a lease file. You can see here it's full text already, so I could select the text. And the second one obviously is some memorandum of rent review. That side here is my work that I need to do. The other side represents my portfolio. You can sort it any way, so by cost center, by customer, by unit, whatever you like to. I just do an easy trick and take the whole file here and drag drop that directly into portfolio. And now the only trick I have to say is, what is the legal space we're in? So are we interested in buildings and something? No, we're interested today in lease contracts. And now I'll ask the machine in the background, please get all the abstract that I want out of this contract. Just extract the information. And it has now come to a solution to that, and we'll say this document here, the document A, he said this is a main lease file. We look at that, I could say, yeah, looks like it. And for the second one he has said, this is the rent review memorandum. And also that, as we know, is true. So that is the first part where we say the classification is just done. We can classify a lot of document types in there, so depending on the legal space that we're in, and the rate is very, very good. For, in our words, that is simple to really very easy to classify documents. But the trick is done in the background. He has extracted a lot of information out of these documents. So let's look at that. What did he extract? This is what the different documents are. So we see that is a set of two documents. And the first thing that he got out of there is like, he said there's a lease file. He said the name is ABC Investment, and I might zoom in here a bit so you can see better. He said that is something in the Friedrich Street, somewhere in 20355 Hamburg. And now the review would just be to say, yeah, that information is correct, that information is correct, this information is correct, and so on and so forth. If I say the information is not correct, he will do the following. We could just go in here, hover here, and just override whatever he's done. As soon as I do that, I effectively train the system. So the system trains with every decision a reviewer has done in the background. That's all will go into the training pot and make the next iteration of training, which starts as soon as new training is eventually done. As I do not have full-fledged time, I just want to hint you in some other things. That what we are seeing is just copying data out of contracts. This is brave enough, so this is good. And the data model is quite complex. But I'm more interested in this one here, for it declares that the rental use is a warehouse use. But the sentence itself does not say that. So this is where we say we can do more complex things, and that is evaluation of sentences. By natural language processing, again by training unsupervised, we just had enough things in the background, so a training set that allows now the artificial intelligence to understand that sentence and to say the use class B1 references a warehouse use. And this is not only the warehouse, this is mainly also things like the type of rent, saying that is the annually rent, why for in a contract it says per annum. So we normalize this information and therefore make it language independent. What do we do with this information? Look, normally we say we just have that information, but we do a little bit more. So that is the demo portfolio I normally use for that. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. I just show you what we normally do. And that is, if you look at that as a table view, we could have like very limited business analytics, like, okay, out of my portfolio, please show me the portfolio assets that have at least 500 square meters. I could go to a map to visualize that, saying obviously that is my Asian-based portfolio. When I disable the filter, okay, the rest seems to be more European-based. But we don't do that for ourselves, but mainly export that information into real target systems, like any contractual system that you can imagine, or any property system that you can imagine. What is the beauty in that? The beauty is we keep the original we keep the connection between the attributes and the files. I can show that very quickly by just exporting to a very dumb, and we heard that today, Excel file, which most of the people still work with, and which is the non-brain integration. So I just dumped everything to Excel, and now happens the following. All of the information here has a unique link back to our system. So whatever is then in your PropTech or corporate management tool, you can have a link back to that specific attribute in that specific contract to drill down into the document that holds the source of truth. So if I click here, it will bring me directly back to the contract, to the specific thing, and will show this is the truth and this is the asset in for, this is stated in this and that contract. That's basically our offering. So we extract information out of contract, we make it easy for you to code that. There is other things to say to that, so about the cost and time saving, how we generate real business value for our customers, and making sure that the process can be done by, let's say, less skilled workforce. We put this in little chunks and pieces. You do not need to be a lawyer. You do not need to be really knowing the target system. You can just extract the contract on a very easy but configurable data. And then you see that that really saves time from day one and saves money from day one for the people that are then extracting. Not the business units, not the PropTech manager, but some services, some shared service center and the likes, and even they can over time then speed up the process. Thank you for your time. I'll be here for some beers if you want to speak on, and we have a booth also. For now, thank you.
Thank you very much for that. There was a sort of mini Obama mic drop at the end there as well. So kind of quite early, but I think that there are drinks waiting. So just want to thank you all for being here. And I think that it's an amazing sort of site, actually. I mean, I know that it's not as full as it was this morning in here, but to have so many people here towards the end of the day is brilliant, and I'm sure it's a great testament of the speakers that we've had on today. And I just also want to thank the audio guys and the sound guys who probably can't hear me. They can't hear me, but they, you know, I know that it's been an interesting situation with the headsets, but they've had to deal with all kinds of things and leveling. So thanks to them. I would applaud them, but they'll just be confused. So thanks again to all of you, and if you could just join me in thanking all of our speakers, 97% of whom are no longer here, but thank you very much.